soul of Gibraltar. This small yet symbolic territory, towering above the gateway to the shimmering Mediterranean Sea. The sunlight reflecting off the rock is like its people, warm and friendly, like the gentle breeze rolling off the sea, softly caressing the sandy shores. Follow us on an exciting journey through one of the most unique and beautiful corners of Europe, a place where modernity blends perfectly with the ancient. An extension of Britain in the Mediterranean, which beautifully combines the best of both worlds. A lovely town where every street and every corner have their own story to tell. A story that even dates back to the creation of man himself. And whose present-day independent spirit has been shaped by victorious battles, heroes, and legends. One of the pillars of Hercules, guarding the entrance to the Mediterranean. A special place which has captivated the soul of mankind throughout the ages. A city of reinvention whose economy is enjoying unrivaled growth, yet remains as welcoming as ever. Lose yourself in its charming gardens, open streets, and beautiful marinas, and feel the encapsulating spirit of Gibraltar become part of you. Be amazed by a place like no other, truly special, whose heart hides much, much more than you can imagine. Dominating the horizon at the southernmost tip of Europe stands a majestic Jurassic limestone rock, rising up into the blue skies and gentle winds. It is the very heart and soul of Gibraltar, this small yet symbolic territory, towering above the gateway to the shimmering Mediterranean Sea. The sunlight reflecting off the rock is like its people, warm and friendly, like the gentle breeze rolling off the sea, softly caressing the sandy shores. Follow us on an exciting journey through one of the most unique and beautiful corners of Europe.
What's up, everybody? Nick Blazier back here with the undefeated finals of the Gibraltar main event. We've got Mark Ferrin paired up against Raphaël Rosalba, won it, I think. Let's check myself real quick. But yeah, this should be an exciting matchup. Raphaël from France, Mark, an old friend from Austin. I see him sitting down at the table here, but I think they got a little bit of time before they start up here. See if our playroom camera looks okay. Yeah, we can check all that out too. But yeah, I have a bunch of info here too on the payouts and brackets and everything like that. So we can check that out real quick. This is a big one. So the way they set this up is this: the winner of this match will go on to play in the finals. And then they'll either be winning, minimum 6,000 pounds or this 13.5 roughly in this 33,000 pound prize pool. So a lot of money at stake in this one. But because they don't get a second chance in the finals, the winner and finalists will immediately win a little bit of bonus in this match here too. So a lot at stake in this match. There's something they'll take eventually, but really this looks like minimum prize of 6,700 basically. Or sorry, if they win, whoever wins this will take away home minimum 7,500 pounds. So quite a bit going on there. Both of them had to win a bunch of matches to on their path here. If we have all the brackets in the description here too, so you can browse those as well. But we can see, what is this here? This is Raphaël, Rosalba. Got a bye in the first round, which is always a good thing to do in backgammon tournaments. A win there. But had to win against Alexandra Nupfer there. Or, oh, maybe this is a different Nupfer. There's a P. I don't know who that is. But we have, yeah, if we go through this, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And I think just won his fifth match and a tough one against Gaz Owen there to close this out. On Mark's side of the bracket, I don't think he was as lucky to get a bye in the first round, so a few more wins to get there. Yeah, but it took out familiar name in Fernando Bracconi there, and has had a good run to get here too. So yeah, we can. It looks like the players are at the board, or at least one of them getting ready to go there. But yeah, you can go check out the brackets and look at how they made their way here. Of course, you can go check out the second chance side too. Gaz just got kicked to that. We've seen him on stream a lot, and a lot on stream in Cyprus too. So he's been having good runs in tournaments. Lots of interesting things going on over there. We'll probably catch a quarterfinals or semifinals match from that. I'll be doing commentary for the second chance after this match, and then the second chance finals tonight late too, to determine who our finals will be tomorrow. So yeah, 91 participants in this field, and we're down to the last two undefeated players. So this should be a really exciting match. I'm gonna come over to the board here, I think, to get ready. But yeah, I'll be here doing commentary with you. Nick Blazier, like always. Yeah, thanks for watching. Let me look over at the commentary here. Yeah, it looks nicely set up. What are they? We still got the camera of them too. I think we saw Arda just step into the picture there to go get a picture of these two, maybe, as the undefeated finalists. Of course, it's an exciting moment for them in this tournament too. They've been starting this tournament 2 days ago now. So playing backgammon, I guess started Thursday night, all day yesterday. And now they're playing another match first thing today. Raphaël had to play, I think both of them played their semifinals matches earlier today. We saw on the other stream, just with the direct board without commentary and all that stuff, we just saw Raphaël edge out a close one against Gaz Owen in the end there. Mark's match, it looked like, was maybe a little shorter, so maybe he'll come into this a little more fresh. I'm not super familiar with the play level of either player, really. I think Mark's probably standard open player. I met him out in Gibraltar for the first time a few years ago. He was hanging out in the Austin club. Somehow I never saw him in Austin though. I don't know how that's possible, but yeah, I've seen him out at tournaments plenty, a solid player, been around for a while. And Raphaël surviving against Gaz Owen through a tough field here too. Looks pretty strong, but I haven't come across that name in a field before either. So I think we'll see some pretty strong backgammon here, And as I mentioned too, there's a lot up for grabs in just this match. So towards the end of it, early you're not really thinking about that top prize, but then you get into this where one match can be the difference between almost 7,000 pounds like this, depending on if they're making any deals or arrangements or hedges or things like that. So the pressure can start to get to you for sure. I don't know what either of these players, their disposition is about the money once they get into it, if they just think about their best backgammon and are able to play that way. But it can definitely start to have an effect. You start to care more about the win and less about the decisions. I don't know, human thing to do for sure. But cool, we got Arda laying down some law for him, it looks like there. I wonder if we can do we have him on let me see, there we go. Yeah. That's your tournament director, Arda. He's the best. Get out to one of his tournaments if you haven't been there before. He's super fun. But, a lot of times in case there's any arrangements they want to make, he'll talk with them about it and exactly what's up for grabs, what's at stake in this match, all these things to make sure they're super comfortable once they get into these really important situations, in the tournament. So, what, did you just spill water on their table? Come on, Arda. I think he's making sure that they've got like the spectators arranged and everything like that too. Oh, I see Dogfin walking around in the background, keeping an eye on everything, getting nice. Oh, getting some pre-match photos and stuff like that too. I'm excited to see what these guys got. 15-point match we have in the undefeated finals. This is, I mean, other than the actual finals that we'll see tomorrow, this is probably the biggest match of the tournament. So I'm glad that to get up early over here. It's a little bit after 7 in Wisconsin, but I'm excited to do the commentary on this one for sure. And then we'll have a bunch shaken out. Whoever loses this will still go to the second chance and have a chance to make it back to the finals and get a rematch. But it gets to be a long road there. I think I didn't look at the brackets. You can go find out exactly where the undefeated finalist lands in, but they probably have a minimum of, at least 2 or 3 matches that they have to win through to get back to the finals. Well, the winner of this match just gets to kick their feet up for the day, get nice and prepared to play tomorrow. So I think it's a big advantage, A lot of people, like in these 2 life tournaments for a long time, a lot of times the undefeated finalist would get like the honest second chance, would have to be defeated twice. But I think having made it here this way is like advantage enough. I really do. So I don't think they need to also get to lose an extra time tomorrow. I think they've got quite a bit of advantage as is, But here we go. We're off. Raphaël, Rosalba on bottom with the red checkers and Mark Ferrin on top with the white checkers. Can't wait to talk to him about this. I hope I'll see him in San Antonio or something like this. This is an exciting run for him. 5-6. Yeah, I mean, Mark, a buddy of mine, but I don't think I've ever seen him play. So I'm excited to see this for sure. Running standard, and Raphaël going to split in response to the 5-4. Pretty usual opening stuff so far. 4-4 gets the point on head. Pretty nice start for Mark in this game. 3-5 can enter, and then I think it's just going to play down. I don't see a need to tempo hit really here, and we're outboarded. But Mark with a clear lead, and I guess he'll have some sort of cube decision here. Does he have enough of an advantage to send it already? He does by 65, but he's going to roll straight through it. Okay. Understandable with only a 2-point board. A lot of people don't really even pause to think about the cube action there. 6-6. Does it reach? No, it gets past, but it's going to neutralize the race. So I think he will run one at least. I'm not sure. Is this making the 2 saw? Yeah, I suppose so. I feel like they're just the wrong order. That's all I'm having the issue with. But I think this is the play that I end up with too. I think with the race so close, I want to escape a checker and make sure I have a way to capitalize on that. And then the deuce point, maybe for lack of options there afterward, it might as well have a point. Oh, is the clock not going? That's fine. You guys are fast players, right? No, actually, I think I saw Mark on stream almost out of time, and I think he just barely looked like he had a good sweat against Volker late last night. That stream ran late and pushed the semifinals back. What are we doing? We need some clock assistance, or is it still running? No, it's just still running while he thinks. Okay. Got it. Both players in their headphones. As it gets late, it gets, people just want to focus, and there's a lot of people around watching, and you just don't want to be distracted by it. Yeah. Oh, I do run this on a 3-minute delay, by the way. So if they're watching, they got to use a lot of clock time to get to my advice, which may or may not be good to begin with. I think Mark wisely waits on the cube now that Raphaël has greatly improved his position. 6-3. I don't think we're close enough in the race where we want to try to make a bid for freedom. We could, if we get hit when we run, then we're down in the race. Oh, look at this. It's still good, though. The thing is, we just, the loss on being hit is so big and the gain isn't that high when we escape. But it's just the favored game plan, so that's what he ought to go for. Very interesting. 3-1 can make another blocking point. Pretty nice progress for Mark. And 3-5 could run again, but now it runs to a clear double shot. So, yeah, it seems a little worse this time. He's just going to keep preparing his board. But still, he's supposed to try to escape. 2-1, big improvement for Mark. 6-3, is it going to go this time? Now it's like a triple shot on the bar, right? I don't see him doing it again. And we've gotten past that tipping point. And now Mark is down in the race significantly and doesn't have the better board, but is threatening to make a 5 prime. And so he does have big market losers for sure. I'm not sure that's enough to get the cube across this time. Yeah, it's a little bit shy. Since his opponent's still... And of course, yeah, after a roll like this, we're not doing that much with it, and our opponent can just roll a 6 and try to escape, you know? So the fly shots don't seem too scary, so I like the 13 to 11 idea here. There is at least a return shot on the ace with a Blotten board, and that might not be their next roll. So I like going for distribution and trying to make a point here. I think that's a nice play by Mark. 2-2 was cocked, okay. 2-6. What about now? We're going to try to run. He's quite a bit ahead in the race that he's gotten here. So, and he has to do something pretty destructive to not run. So it feels good to at least step up or something. But he's going to bring 2 checkers in instead, okay? Really patiently sitting back and not wanting to get hit. And look at this. Apparently Mark has missed a cube on this one now, too. Now that the 8 point's been given up and the structure's a little impure. He had enough market losers, I guess. Interesting. Like, this 5 prime is going to be one for sure, but I'm not sure I saw the change to understand that there's a cube there. Feels like Raphaël needs to step up to the edge there if he wants to win, but he's passing either way, I guess, so okay. And Mark is going to cube, and Raphaël is going to pass this one. And was that clearly, like, we can almost take a roll there as Mark. Not much is going to change, so close to too good on that decision. And the cube before... Yeah, that's a hard one to find, I feel like. The numbers almost seem a little bit low for sending it, but it's just getting so near the end of the game. The volatility is too high, I guess. All right. 14 away, 15 away. Oh, we can't tell if it's paused or going. Does look like a funky clock. That's why you bring your own, fellas and ladies. 2 down. He's okay. Raphaël, 2 down player. I love seeing style things. I guess that fits with how he was playing the single checker back game, not wanting to run and be hit. So we're starting to see maybe just like a tendency to not want to put the back checkers in risk and just like work on our offensive side a little more. Okay. 5-6 hits back from the bar for Mark. So nice little early game advantage for him. The ace can, yeah, for sure we're making the point. And then I think we want to get the checker off the 24. Not that we want to keep the 24 and 23. But we just, I mean, the third checker on the 24 is illegal. We've talked about this. We're going to give up one of those next roll anyway. But it's just, it's so misplaced. You know, you really need to get that checker moving. And it's got pretty restricted movement back there. So anywhere is better than on the 24 as well. At least you have the option to, like, come off the 24 and keep the 23 or something like this. And yeah, I think this is my play B. We at least make a bid for a slightly better anchor, but you know, it's not clear that we want the 22 anyway, and we still have that problem of we don't have 5s to play from the back either, so it's just kind of stiff. 6-3 can make a run for it hitting as well. That'll work. Not that he wants another checker back at this point. Or wants to send another checker back at this point, but he'll take it, work on escaping. We can't break the mid to hit, especially when we're going to maybe play a back game. We need that link to all these back checkers, so I like this decision. Wow, he should hit. What? Okay, I would have made that mistake too. I thought he just needed to make a positional play. That's very surprising to me, though. I guess he still has the better board is the issue. And Mark's threatening to just be completely around to full freedom. So he has no other option than to hit. This is a very interesting one. It's an easy positional play to make, I think, that he did there. Just settle in on, okay, I'm playing the contact game and I need my midpoint in a back game for timing later. So I'm just not going to give that up, but it's too early to be focusing on that plan, I guess. 5-2 for Mark here has an option to clean 2 up, but he's going to go for this distribution instead of playing the 2 on the midpoint. I think that seems good. And Raphaël has already shown that he doesn't really want to hit it. 6-5 is going to get there from the 22 the long way. Okay, he'll take that shot. 1-5. entering and playing down. Mark's position way ahead in the race, way less checkers back, but very stiff. Needs some sort of miracle to start to improve his structure. Raphaël having no such problem, has the rack now. Hey Marcel, welcome. You'll hear that from me in like 3 minutes, I guess. 4-3. Ouch. This is just going to have to stack up more, I think. I don't think we can do anything crazy like double hit here. But we would love to try to improve somehow. Wow, it's very close. That's how ugly this is to have to play to the 6. Would have loved to see him consider that play. That's always exciting when people at least like realize kind of the suicide plays are a candidate there, you know? That would have been a fun one. 5-4. What can this do for white? It can hit to buy some time. I guess it's going to hit on the ace too for, yeah, no other safe options. All right. I like the play by Mark here. 2-6 is going to enter 1. Okay, and he's got a tempo advantage now. Looking to cover that ace. Ooh, 4-1's a nice way to cover it too, protecting from the anchor happening. We could make the 5 point, but I think it's more important to hit and make the ace. Yeah, oh wow, a little bit better to make the 5. The positional play is important here for bringing this home. 2-1 can make the bar point. It's a weird point to have when you have the 7, but I think it's still nice for a landing point here. Yeah. And 5-6 enters, and I presume hops out from the rear. What else do we have here? Oh, bar to 14 instead. Yeah, I would have made his play again. He's getting dinged by some, like, fairly clear feeling, like, positional plays, but there's some sort of tactics going on that we're both missing. Difficult game to navigate for Raphaël here for sure. 4-1, I think, well, we can play quiet and behind, but should we go for a double hit here is kind of the question. I think it risks disconnecting from the back checker, so I don't love it. We're outboarded. Seems like the wrong game plan. So maybe I just find a simple 8-7, 6-2. I don't think we're under too much pressure for our opponent to escape, but okay, the double hit, yeah, that should stick out as the first idea. 5-3 is going to enter 2 and hit back. Okay, I mean this is one of the worst sequences, and it's not so bad for us, right? What do we do with this now? I don't think we want to hit loose again, but we have to leave shots kind of no matter what. Maybe we just make the 24 and clean up 9-7 and tempt our opponent to break the midpoint. That's an idea. This is a tough one. I'm really not sure what he should do with this. Oh, it doesn't matter too much because he's passing. Wow, this is like not an easy pass necessarily with 4 checkers back either. I guess Mark's position is so positionally bad that maybe he can find this, but okay, it's like right on the cusp. But I mean, I would be awful tempted to play this out, that's for sure. I guess we risk having a third back with no link in the outfield, which is a big problem. And Raphael's structure is so pure. He has the anchor that's going to prevent any offensive game plan from Mark. So all Mark has is the freedom in the race. It does look sketchy. But I don't know. To me, with the 35 pip lead and so many checkers back, it looks playable. Mark finds a good pass there, though. Strong stuff. He got through that game, I mean, for some pretty complicated decisions, got through that really clean. Good stuff from him. And so we're at 14 away, 14 away. Tie score. 6-5. Not too many big swings in this yet, you know. It's just eventually Mark will figure out the clock. 6-5 runs, 3-1 gets to make the structural point. We already have differentiation of plans in this game. Mark looking for the contact and board, and Raphaël just looking to escape and race so far. 5 is going to be down, and then I think 4 splits. Yeah, we want to cover as much of the board as we can when we are playing a contact game like this, so he wants to make it not easy to be in the outfield. And I think Raphaël, for game plan reasons as well, has a nice opportunity to just hop out. Duplicates the 4 that would anchor anyway. I don't think that's huge. I think it just fits his strategy to run is the more important part. 5-2. I think, yeah, Mark doesn't have any reason to want to escape that back checker, so he's going to bring a checker down, start the next point, and keep the contact. 6-2. Does this just lands on the 8 point? Okay. 3 stacks of 5. Needs some help developing, but the race is looking okay. Oh, never mind about that. Now Mark has everything. I think he's going to need to escape the checker on the 20 to start. Doesn't have time for anything else. And then maybe make the 2 with it. I don't think I mean, it's a relatively close race, so I don't think he wants to hop out to the bar and try to escape that way. It's tricky, though, because he doesn't see the board and allows his opponent to unstack in the outfield when he does that. But it's still my instinct is just 20 to 2, 8 to 2. Yeah, and I think he needs to realize that he's ahead in the race, and so it should start with what am I going to do with my back checkers and decide that. And the 2 is less relevant, you know? I mean, we're going to make that for lack of options, but it doesn't look like what we're hoping to do. Oh, interesting that he doesn't, yeah, okay, 13 to 10 because he's outboard and all these things. Would have at least had to think about, do I need to slot here? But, okay, 4 covers and 2 steps up, trying to make a bid for freedom. I like that idea. Sees a little bit more of the board. 4-2 gets to make a point, so that's an important improvement for Raphaël. And Mark just hoping to run or hit with a 7 here. 3-1 is going to work on his board a little more. I feel like maybe he doesn't want to have a blotting board when he's about to get fly shots in a lot of sequences, you know. But I guess 4-point board is good enough either way. 13 to 9 would have been my idea there, I feel like. Curious about that. 5-2 is just going to play into the 6 for lack of options. 3-2 can cover. 5-point board is ready. Small racing lead for Mark. And big board advantage. 5-4 I think is just going to have to... How quiet? Do we clean them both up? Yeah, he's got decent race now. And really... getting hit is just the end of the world now. So I like that decision. Mark, I think even though the contact's good, escaping to freedom with the 13 pip lead in the race is going to be pretty strong. You know, it's not decisive. It's still just 2 to 1, and Raphaël can easily turn around this race. But when you have a clear advantage in that game plan, you know, generally you want to go for that. Staying back for contact is just not going to gain enough more. You know, it's still... Raphaël getting to hit and catch up in the race is better for him for sure, even though he's dealing with a 5-point board. Six three, sure. We're just going to be making racing distribution plays, and generally Raphaël happy to keep the midpoint just in case. 4 pips, I don't think enough for a cube. So he's going to need to gain a little bit more than that. But always threatening. 13 with a bad roll could definitely be a cube. Okay, 6s is going to take over the race and break the contact, though. For sure, 1 to the deuce and then 1 to the ace as well. Why not? Yeah. So 11 pips is going to be hard for him to have a cube next turn, but bad enough for Mark, and he could. 5-4, he's going to play 2 down. Maybe 9 to 5 is kind of nice there. But, okay, he's going to pause to catch up on what the race is, find out that he's only ahead 2 pips. And that's not going to be enough to ship it quite yet. Well, hey, Bill. Rooting for your San Antonio buddy. Yeah, I think, you know, no significant wastage, but if anything, you know, Mark's position is a little smoother. So maybe he can get like an EPC pip, something like that. Oh, asking what Raphael's early blunders were. Yeah, there was a really complicated game. I think game 2 was the hard one. There were a lot of decisions where I would have played just like him, and I don't know. Like he had an opportunity to play a back game type position very early, but could have kind of gone forward or made some other stiffer plays. It was strange. Check it out. There's probably a lot to learn in that one. Of course, it's tough for me to get to study it while doing commentary, but looks like an interesting one to look at later. Okay, keeps the 2 pip deficit, 8 pips for each of them, so nothing new with the cube action yet. 10 pips could be enough to take a lead, though. Let's see what Mark does with it. 3 checkers off to none as well. 2-1, yeah, this is going to bring it. And it might be bad enough of a sequence for a pass, too. Kind of looks to be that way. 9 pips in a 59 pip race just seems like too much. And it's enough outside the window that I don't think it's going to take too much calculation for Mark to get on the right side of this cube action. But it's looking like another 1-point game. Maybe they're going to give us a full 30 games here. That would be exciting. No gammons, no doubled wins, none of that. None of that stuff. Just play it out for 1 point every time. DMP all the way. All right. It didn't look like Raphaël was in time trouble in his last match, but I did notice Mark get pretty low on the clock, I think in last night's match. So we'll have to watch out for that. He is like playing a little bit deliberate in some of these positions and down to 26 on it already. So not sure how he likes playing under time pressure or anything like this either. 13 away, 14 away. 2-1 slots in response to the bar point typically, but he's going to go for the split instead. Small stuff. 3-3 gets to come up. Yeah, I like this play. You can make the 5 as well without having to leave a blot, but it unblacks the back. Unstacking the 6 to make a point should always be a candidate. They're very close, yeah. And with that 7 made, he has a nice priming and racing game plan. 6-3 is going to make the 5. Okay, nice improvement for Mark. Wrong spares, so it's stiff and difficult to improve. But yeah, Mark really needs an anchor to combat the advanced anchor that Raphael's made now. Only game plan. I guess the other option is just to run out there, but he's down in the race. Does this even help him to do it? It's confusing. Yeah, I don't know if I would like to be out there in this particular position. It challenges a stripped midpoint is why we look at it. 5-4. What can this do? Can make the point and just volunteer the shot with a racing lead. Yeah, I guess safe plays just look too stiff. So maybe this is fine. But no, we should really go for it and just commit to game plan. Okay. Yeah, the deuce point doesn't like interact so well with the 8 either. You know, we're kind of playing 2 game plans now, and neither of them really have the focus they need. There's a problem with that play too. But okay, 11-6 is coming in. 6-5 can't escape. It's going to have to play behind somehow. Does he want to leave something in front of the anchor with the racing deficit anyway? Maybe, but going to go ahead and oh, 11-6. That's an interesting play. I didn't think about that one. 6-3. It doesn't need to run yet. Yeah, he's happy with his anchor and just focusing on containing and closeout. So I like this, breaking the mid, coming down. Mid on the other side is stripped anyway. 4 can cover and 3 can step up. Is that the idea here? We're primed, but we're so down in the race that it's not clear that we want to come into the contact zone. But we have a good board, a better board. Yeah, maybe that seems best. Okay, I like the decision. Yeah. And now there are some serious market losing threats, but Raphaël still has to escape this structure. Even when he points on head, the 5's open, and Mark's going to have some chances that and some counterplay against the anchor. So I don't know if he really has market loss here. And yeah, we can see he's a ways off, but I mean, this is the... If we're focused on market losers, then we start to look at things like I could point on head and forget to maybe think about, well, does that really lose my market? You know, like it's easy to look at market losers as good rolls and not think about what the actual result's going to be. But I think he's taking the time to figure that out, and we'll realize, well, I still got work to do even when I do my best, and we'll take a roll here. 4-2 is a good one, though. On a fan, he could lose his market, but it won't be by so much. And it's maybe not common enough to worry about. For sure, he's going to have a cube here now with threats of making the 5 point. And yeah, enough gammons when this goes right to claim the game. He's probably going to be second guessing himself. Like, should I have sent that? This seems like a pretty simple sequence that we ran into. And now I feel like I have a pretty strong double and probably a pass, you know. But yeah, he's found the proper cube action here, and we'll see if Mark can navigate this right. I think the high gammon tax should be pretty clear. And when you have a single checker back, your only plan is to escape and race, really, you know. So he doesn't have much to play here. But okay, one more 1 point game. 12 away, 14 away. So that's 4 games down and 26 to go. Okay. All right, 6-4, he's a split player. Okay. Usually in match play, it's like run or point. But that's the money game play. So you see it a lot. 2-2. Yeah, after 6-4, this is the exception where it hits. I remember this one. Without memorizing it, I probably wouldn't know. Ace-6 is going to make the advanced anchor. Nice asset for Mark. 6-4. What can this do? This can get around to safety to the 6. That feels like a little bit weak, but I guess it's our best plan. So sure. We hate to stack up so tall in the early game. Yeah, so his other option is just to play a little looser. Okay. 4-6. Down in the race. Mark has no desire to run. He'd rather contain somehow. So making a point, sure. Get ready to make it difficult for our opponent to leave. Raphaël going to make a bid for freedom here. Mark looking for a 4 and gets it. Oh, it's a little premature to go for that. He should slot instead. This is a very... Raphael's been getting hit with some tough plays. Hard to find the slot ahead in the race and outboarded. I'm not sure. The ace there, maybe it should just clean up. I'm not sure why he wants to advance the... You don't tend to want to be on the 23 point there. Yeah, so small stuff, but okay. 5-3 from the roof for Mark. It's a waste to have the 20 and the 18 here. It feels like better contact to come in on the 22 and play down or something like this. But maybe it's a little loose in the opening. I don't know. I would probably find that, honestly. But yeah, so we can see we don't want to make an anchor, and we want to focus on making the board. We already have our anchor, and it's just not covering enough board to make something like this bar to 20, 23 to 20 play. We got to prepare for contact instead and keep the contact zone large. So we'll see what Mark finds of this play. It's a tricky one. I think the thing that would point you toward maybe making the 20 is this big stack of checkers on the 6 point, and you're worried about like a set just getting to unload on us from there when we only have a 2 point board. You know, we're not so well defended. Yeah, I like it. Oh, he was coming in deep. He fooled me and made the anchor. Okay. Misses an opportunity there. 5-1, I think, just... Oh, I thought maybe just come around the bend. But okay, instead, iron out distribution a little bit. Yeah, I like that. 2-1. Also would have challenged, like, a point that would have to go, but I guess Mark wants to get rid of one of those points now as part of it. 3 in, unstack the deuce. Okay, still ahead in the race, looking to escape, but doesn't want to step under the gun. 3-1. I think it's still worth making the 5 point here, especially the Blotten board. And with our deuce made, we don't want the 8 as much, but having to volunteer direct is never easy or fun. 6-3 escapes to freedom. Okay, we got a simple holding game more or less now. The 20 and the 18 don't tend to play as anything spectacular with contact, and in fact, only down 12 in the race. Mark is most likely to have to give up one of those sooner than later. So I think it's going to play out like a simple 20 or 18 point holding game, depending whichever he chooses. With the 2 anchors, he's going to volunteer a shot. I think, okay, that's reasonable. I would have thought that with the race close, I would have been a little bit afraid to do that. And it feels like we're thinking about the game like a back game with 2 anchors when we do that. So we'll see if he kind of continues with that idea. So like here, I think it could be worth hitting. It's only 5s from the roof because we can cover 4-2. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I guess there's no reason to volunteer against that 4 point board. 6-4 can cover the 3. Okay. Board is ready. Mark with that 5 point board again. 5-1. Sure. We're just going to find some way to play behind and not leave shots and keep waiting to come home. And just a small racing lead. Mark getting under the pressure to decide which anchor is going to go very soon here. It's not clear to me. With this close of a race, it feels like the 18 would be the favored one. We'd want to keep the contact with the midpoint. And I'm not sure if he really needs to do it now. Just 8-5 seems fine, but we could play the 20 to 18 now. Oh, we are. Yeah, they're all very close. And it seems to actually prefer keeping the 5 point a little bit. That's very interesting to me. Tough one to volunteer there, but we're getting right to that tipping point, and so soon it's going to get important. But we did have 2 blots behind too, right? We don't have that anymore, so now it should be scary, this roll, to give up the anchor. And now we're under pressure to do it too. I think Maybe the safest way is the 20. Yeah, this feels like the idea. Duplicates threes too by staying back there. Okay, I like the idea. XG prefers just continuing to get to safety instead. Raphaël going to pause to think about it. Does he have market loss when he hits? He could. Not quite enough though, so wisely takes a roll. 6-2 makes another point to make it a little more threatening to be back there. 3-2 gets to link up, and now Mark has a new midpoint, ready to release that next roll if he gets the chance. But that's a nice improvement to the structure with just 10 pips down. Okay. Now he's down 30. This is just going to be not enough contact to play out the race. And so 5-1 is just going to end up passing here, pretty sure. Here comes the cube. One more 1-point game. They're really going to do it. They're going to play 30 games. Hi, Tiberiu. Did I pronounce that right? Hi, David, too. Or David, maybe? Is David a friend of Raphael's? I want to know more about these players. Here comes the cube. Here comes the pass. On to game 6. That was played pretty well by them both. All right. 11 away, 14 away. So decent deficit for Mark, but not enough to really adjust cube action quite yet. Maybe in some weird recube scenarios they can think about it. After the 6-1, the 6s are not a very strong roll, so nice advantage for Mark here, even though he's down in the pips. 2-5 will hit and fix that. The race. And Raphaël just stuck with that deep point now. 3-1. What is this going to do? I guess, it's just going to step up for the highest anchor. Okay, maybe the triple split's fine too. Maybe even slotting is something to think about. Beautiful shot for Mark just to link up on the 17 and make an anchor now. And he's got a quite simple game to play. Raphaël gets to make an anchor of his own, and so we're going to play a mutual holding game, it looks like. 6-4 can actually break contact with a 16 pip lead and not leave too many indirects. He wants to come all the way around to the... Why this instead of just 2 around? That's interesting. Not sure why he went for that one. But yeah, misses an opportunity there to link up with the midpoint. 2-1's going to miss, though, so not punished. It's going to work out okay for him. And then the 2, he's close enough in the race and decides he needs to step up for mobility. That could be right. I'm thinking about making board points, but it's a fine idea and very close, we can see. Sees 6s out. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of 6s he wants to play otherwise. Settles on that idea. Okay. So Mark's still going to need a little bit more of an advantage to send the cube here, I think. This could do it. What if it just plays 3 down to the 9? How are we following up? I don't think he needs to turn this into any sort of attack. So, I mean, I think that's the play. And then I'm already wondering if I'm just going to have a cube every time afterward. Yeah, finds that very easily. It looks like it's got good distribution to fill in the 5 point. May not even need to. So with this big of a racing lead, I feel like the cube should be coming. There must be market loss here, but he's going to roll past it. It's already a pass, but he misses the opportunity. Okay. 5-2 is going to play down and break the midpoint and leave a couple fly shots, not too many. 2-6 is going to get hit. Ouch. So he goes from having a pass to having nothing. Pretty unfortunate sequence there. 3 is going to come in. Sure, any 2 he likes, and still has the racing advantage. So plenty of opportunities just to escape to a holding game still. But okay, 4s is going to change that quite a bit. Making the 10 looks wonderful here with the open 4. And 13 down for a builder. Sure. And now Raphaël with the lead in this game for sure. Very strong position has showed up for him. What can Mark do here? I think he needs to perform this role, and if he doesn't, he might be under a lot of pressure from the cube. 3, I think, can just play behind and wait for a 6. I think this is good enough to play with the racing lead and 2 checkers behind structure. But a lot of gammon risk in this position and significantly outboarded. It's scary for sure. Yeah, I think the open 4-point with the race too. There's too many features here that are going to be easy to play as a second or as a single checker back. But under pressure for sure. What can this do? This could hit loose on the ace or switch to the ace. And what else is there? I don't think I see much else. No, he played it legally. Yeah. Checking on that. Yeah, the hit loose and come into the 9 to the 5. Yeah. Okay. Nice find by Raphaël there. And a lot of market pass on this sequence. But Mark performs. Hits and covers. And just a 6 away from having control of this position now. Ace 4. Does it need to go for a hit to kind of buy time? The tempo seems valuable here too, to not let our opponent escape or potentially make a very valuable 20-point. So with the board advantage, I think even though entering deep on the ace could cause us problems hopping that 4 prime, I feel like it's worth it. And he's going to find that tempo play. 4-2 is going to enter high. Now that's the place to be for Mark. And just looking to hop out and escape here. And Raphaël looking to attack. 3-1. Interesting. Is it urgent enough that he should switch here and hit from the 5? I don't see what else to do. I guess the race is close, but why not go for it? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's an easy one to kind of overlook there. Forget that it's an option to break your 5-point to cover the ace, you know. 4 can cover. 2's going to split to try to make that 4-point. Okay. Hey, everybody in the chat there. Lots of folks showing up to join me. I appreciate it. And, oh yeah, Mark does have a cube decision now. He's only 9 pips ahead. Still has to safety the blot. Still has to get over that gap on the 5. So I think there are enough liabilities here that he doesn't really need to get it in now. But with like a score deficit and no fear of recubes really, or not as much fear of recubes, I think it's probably okay to send it. But I think it would be a tiny error not to, if it is at all. And so my instinct would be to just take a roll. But yeah, very close borderline decision here. Can't really make a mistake either way. So I think he's probably just counting the race and making sure he's got a bearing on where he is with that. And we'll use that to decide once he gets there and realize that it's a close call. And yeah, but good for sure to know exactly where the race is before we move on here. Sends the cube. Should be easy take for Raphaël. Yep. We're going to play our first 2-point game. I'm so excited. 6 down, 3 behind. Okay. Solid roll for Mark. Can't, still wants to make the 5-point if he can. But, I mean, those are low numbers too. So I think he'd take 9s all day. Oh, double 2s is a market loser for sure. He's glad he got the cube in time now. And I like this. Okay, he's going to play another checker in rather than clear one of the points onto a point that he wants to clear anyway. I think that's wise. So, yeah. 5-3 is going to play in twice. Okay, nice. 5-2 is going to clear a point somehow. It looks like the 8-point. If we could clear the rear, we would. 7-point? Okay, sure. That seems fine too. One of those rear points. Double 5s. Cannot escape and would catch up in the race. Does catch up in the race. But now Mark having to play against this anchor a little bit. And so this 5-4 I think is going to be important to make the 2 board points and be ready to pounce if his opponent gets forced off. Because he can lose the race just if his opponent runs with a 6 or something like this. So the game plan has changed a little bit. He needs to contain that anchor now rather than just passing it up. 5-3 is, yeah, only one safe way to play it. Has to play a checker behind. Not the best roll for Mark, but it'll do. and hoping that his opponent gets forced off and he gets the chance to attack, I think, here. 6-1 is a nice way to go for that. Maybe Raphaël should clean up the blot to not have to deal with it. Yeah, I think that's a fine idea for the potential exchange of hits coming. I mean, with a close race, for sure, Mark should be attacking with 5s and 1s if he gets the chance. Loose hits are fine. Yeah. And he seems to know that. Oh, he gets to clean it up to the ace, too. Yeah, no need to leave it and make it. So that's a nice shot for him. Just the 4-5 from the bar. No such luck for Raphaël. 6-1. Going to enter and take a checker off. Okay. So Mark looking like a favorite to make up a little bit of this. He can leave shots with 6-2 here already. But Raphael's board not too strong to punish it if something does go wrong in the bear off. Unlikely to win a gammon, but there are 8 pips outside. So if Raphael fans for long enough, that can start to show up. Is this just, yeah, maybe ripping is better. Okay, but he evens out, I think is the concept he's using there. Just entering and moving a pip outside is huge for saving gammons. This is quite helpful for Raphaël. So unlikely to be attacked as well. I don't think the gammon race is close enough, so I think he should probably just clear. Oh, look at this. He should take 2 off, though. It's 3% gammons, mostly locked up either way, so the trade's okay. Okay. That's not easy. Yeah, I think instinctually knowing that there's few gammons leads you to play for the winning play, but not really giving up wins either way. Okay. Just like we were talking about earlier, the weak board means that even if he does leave an unlikely shot on the 5 point, Raphaël can't necessarily punish it, especially once he has those extra 2 checkers off. So yeah, not sacrificing many wins there to go for the few extra gammons. I can see it now. Morning, Eric and John. And that'll do it. Raphaël will give up the single game and move on to 11 away, 12 away. All right, 29 games, I guess we're going to play. Always good to take your points on the scoreboard, too. Be ashamed to earn them and then forget to claim them. 3-1 opening for Mark. Best start possible. And a 5-4 is going to be forced to play 2 down now that the 5s and 4s are blocked from the back. You would much prefer to do something with the back checkers. 4-2 gets to continue and make the rack now. Great start for Mark. See if Raphaël can respond with anything. Just a 6-4. I feel like his plan should be to run here. Splitting though. Okay, he's got the right idea making a point there. That's interesting. I probably would find just 24-14 and think my best game plan is just escaping. But having the asset is worth something. And we stay linked to the back checkers too, so maybe we get returns from the bar when we get hit instead of not getting returns on hitting 2s. It's a tricky play though. All pretty close. But yeah, I have seen that Raphael's tendency is to not do aggressive things with the back checkers. So I don't feel too surprised to see him thinking about the 2 play or making the deuce point instead. And trying not to have to split if he can avoid it. Aces is going to hit and split the back checkers, I suppose. I don't think does he want to clean it up is kind of the question. Is it, I guess maybe the 6s are so bad otherwise. Maybe 7-5, why do I want to leave it as a potential shot from the bar? I don't know if I gain enough by stepping up further too. So this could be, I mean, it's usually not the instinct, but 7-5 could be good here. Yeah, he misses that. But it's relatively small. And when we get a fan, then I think we're happier. Seems like he should have a pretty potent cube here. He's just got like a small racing lead, a clear board advantage that's going to persist through the whole game. So I think just the positional strength of this makes it a difficult choice for Raphaël. He's like 2 offensive rolls ahead pretty easily, you know. So yeah, Yeah, strong cube and borderline take, but Raphaël made his decision is going to snap that up. Okay. Well found for him. All right, Mark's going to stay with the distribution idea here, trying to close this game out. 3-6 is going to get punished now, as John was rooting for. And we get a fan. Two. How is this going to hit back? I guess on the bar point. Must be the bar point. What else could it be? Yeah. Interesting option, though, to unstack and hit and board and try to prevent an anchor or something like this. Ace in. Fives are not great, but the race is good enough that he can just hop out and try to find freedom again. So we're in another one of these where he's way outboarded and just wants to try to play a no contact game, however he can figure out how to do that. Looks like Mark misses. I don't think you want to sacrifice the purity of your structure to point on the ace. Maybe the tempo is worth it with a 4-point board, but it's only 8 in the zone, so I'm quite tempted to make the bar. Okay, he finds the best of it, though. Yeah, and it's going to slow down Raphaël from cleaning up the blot on the 17, so okay, we can see all the different ideas there. Enters, yeah, I think cleaning up seems better than any sort of shift option he has there. Maybe he can play down to the 11, I don't know, but he's going to play it ultra conservative and stack up 8-6. Respecting that 4-point board, he's got the right idea there too. 3-6. So running out to the 14 here mobilizes that checker in a relatively even race, but also helps cover the outfield in case Raphael's back checker wants to try to run. So the 2's going to hit for sure, and then he's going to come out with that. Yeah, that felt like a dilemma there. All right. 5-6 can hit back. Great shot for Mark. Raphaël under a ton of pressure. A fan, I think, is going to, like, mostly, we'd be back in, like, clear cube territory. 5-2 and unclear about the take or pass. 5-2 is going to hit again. The gammon threat is real once again. Morning, Tapio. 2-2. I think this is going to switch. Yeah, we're thinking about blitz now, and then the 2 is down to the 11, and then probably continue to the 9. So it reaches all the points, but it feels like slightly deep. We'd rather be on the 10. 4-2 is going to enter. Mark looking for a 5 or a 3 to keep him from anchoring. 6-2, not going to do that. All right, under a little bit of risk of having to play a holding game now. I think maybe for that reason he should capitalize on race and just hop over with the 21. Yeah. And just be prepared in case it goes that way. But first instinct was to get checkers in the zone for sure. All right. Needs a 3 or a 9 or something further, an 11. A 7 ain't going to do it. I guess this can hop out and play 7-6. That, or it must just come around the bend from the 15 or something. I'm not sure really what's best. We hate leaving. I guess the 4-3 duplication is pretty strong here for entering numbers that hit. 3-2. Nice. So he finds the best play and gets the point on head because of it. So cruising to a likely gammon now. Raphael's going to have to get pretty lucky to enter on the 3 and establish that anchor before Mark can bring all the material in to close it out. And he's just going to do it in one roll instead. Save Raphael the time of rolling. Let's consider it. 6-5, just going to have to make sure that he's not sitting on any big sets that would leave a shot. 6 is still okay from here. 2-2, I think around the bend and into the 9 seems fine. Yeah, and then the last one, maybe just 11-9. Sure. Other options that are maybe a little bit closer. The 1-1, so he's going to bring that in, and I think we really like the 5-4 here for distribution when we're bearing in. Tends to make all our sets work very well. Less likely that we end up getting into awkward distributions on the high points. So 5 in and then 4-2. Yep. Still looking very safe. Mark just needs to prioritize safety to win a gammon here. So, how does he do that on this roll? He could clear the 6 and play 5-2 and play super safe. And I think that's fine. Because I think as long as he doesn't get hit with all these pips outside and 2 checkers up, then he should win a gammon. I don't think he needs to do anything aggressive for that. And of course, with just 2 up, backgammons aren't too real here, but if we get far enough along with a bunch of misses, then we can start to think about that. 6-1 out on the outside. Unfortunate for him, having to dodge 6 shots. 6 rolls that would leave a shot. 6-1, not one of them. That'll work fine. Sure, plays 2-1 to take checkers off with aces. I don't think he needs to worry about evening out on the 22. 6-1 gets to hop out. Okay. And yeah, should be a lock on a gammon for Mark to go to 8 away, 11 away. 4 down, 2 in. Okay, okay. His chances of saving this gammon must be low. They must be near 0 now. 6-3 is around and down. Okay, yeah. So it looks like he has some chance of saving the gammon, according to XG. But it's less than 1%. This is a good start, I think. Gonna take 3 crossovers and resign the gammon. All right. Very clean game for him. Who are they about to take a small break here? It looks like it. Okay. Well, before we hop onto that break, yeah, there's your playroom there. So we're at 11 away, 8 away in favor of Mark Ferrin doing good. Oh, maybe he's just stepping away to get some water quick. That could be it too. But we can look at, it's always fun to look at the session summary to me in these. So, yeah, we can see so far in this match, you know, a little bit of a lead for Mark early, and then Raphaël way out in the lead with that 3-point advantage, jumped all the way up at his peak to like a 2-1 favorite in the match. And just like 2 games later, is a fairly significant underdog, almost a 2-1 underdog. Not too many swings in the games themselves we can kind of see in the graph too. But game by game, it's been changing and kind of growing and coming back down. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll see how he handles all these luck swings and changes in fortune, things like that. But at the moment, looking good for Mark. Maybe he's just taking his break at the table there too. Yeah. I don't know how long they're on break, but I'm going to send it. Oh, yeah, he's stepping up too. So I'll send it to some ads and things like that for a little bit here. And we'll be back shortly with more of this undefeated finals match. Thanks, everybody. looks like we're coming back to the table here. Had to cut that video off short. We'll get started again. But that's cool. That one's been around since 2020 UBC that I got to participate in. But we'll come back to the board here. And back with 11 away, 8 away action. Mark off to a significant lead in this match. Playing really sharp. Raphaël getting thrown some tough games here too, but playing pretty well overall, I think, as well. Double sixes. Okay, we already have the bar point, but can't complain too much. 2 down. Big racing lead, advanced anchor. Typically after an early double sixes, Raphaël would like to have like 1 board point better, or like if we have like equal-ish boards, then Mark can still take. And if he's got a better board, then it's going to be tough for him. So let's see how he wants to respond to this. He can keep working on his board. I don't think he wants to split into these mountains at this point. With 11 in the zone, it seems scary, but I'm really not sure. His opponent has an anchor, so that calls for going for some sort of improvement like that. That's a tough one. He finds the best of it too. Okay, so he's going to split, and I think this is a pretty score-based cube here that he's sending. So he's a little bit shy and gets an easy take from Mark. But it's a good adjustment with this big of a match deficit to get it in a little bit earlier on something that's not, far from a cube for normal scores or anything like this, if it is at all. But yeah, I think our typical references would not have us sending this quite yet. 4-1 is going to get to make the 5 point for sure. And maybe it's fine to just play down 13-9 and see if our opponent wants to come off the anchor. We can play pure with the better board. No need to step under it and allow our opponent to potentially point on our head here, I don't think. 24-20 is an okay play with it too, though. Huh? Interesting. It's always fun when those ideas are so close to each other. Oh, 3s is a great shot. So gets the point on head back there, and I think he'll make the 4 on the stack instead of the 5. I like this play. Looks very strong. And Raphaël in the driver's seat for sure now. Very scary position for Mark. He's going to be happy to clean up that blot now. And he has a big enough deficit that he can play a 24-point game. So there's a little bit of something there, like no pressure to split or anything like that. I think he's going to camp back on that and just try to improve his front position. Yeah. And maybe hope for some sort of opportunity to give Raphaël trouble coming off the 18-point. 6-5 is going to complete the 6 prime. Great shot for him. 5-2 is just coming into the 6. 5-4, I think, yeah, while we still have the time, let's make our bid for freedom. Do we want to come out, is it the double falcon or just around the bend? He's going to maximize contact is another idea, I guess. Don't give our opponent easy ways to come off the midpoint. I guess that's an idea, yeah. Yeah, that's the best of it, too, wow. I just have the wrong idea thinking about trying to make sure we escape from the 18 because we're not worried about being primed and we want our opponent to have to do something. Oh, it's close. Okay, we can make that kind of play if we want on ++. I like that other plan, though. It's just like maybe the idea is maximizing contact here. Not really sure. Yep, gonna go with his initial instinct. I like it. Very close candidate to be sure. Aces, is it even gonna try to contain these checkers? I'm not sure it's worth having a potentially third back here. So maybe we just need to play quiet and have our timed ace here. Oh, but we can hit 2 and make a priming point. Interesting. This is tough. I'm not sure. I guess, okay, so if we look at the final position, our opponent, even if they enter on the deuce, can end up being primed. And they're completely out of time when we hit both. Okay. So there's probably, if he enters quick enough, there's probably rolls that'll crack immediately. Ace is not one of them. I think he's going to step up to the edge unless he wants the distribution of the 3 to step up as well. Plays 6-5 to keep that. Okay. And ace 4, but he's already got Mark some priming game out of this, so seems to have worked well. He's allowing his opponent to hit and escape with 6s right now. What else can he do about it? Is it worth hitting loose? No, he's just going to play in and try to stay pure and make that point. I think I like that idea. The 2-5 gets to run past. And 5-6. So it gets to temporarily make the 8 point, and then it's going to go right away. So maybe he just makes the deuce point instead and is going to continue to focus on this priming plan. Yeah, I think everything else looks too impure. I like the idea. I think it's worth giving up the 4. I think we want to focus on the checker on the 24 point now and hope that it doesn't have enough time to escape. The cleanup play just looks very weak. I don't know. 13-2 slotting's okay too, but yeah, this whole 13-7, 8-3 just looks like how are we going to develop this into offense? It does save some gammons, so it's the damage control play to be sure. And with the lead, you want to think about it a little bit. But too many games on the table that we might win if we just go for some sort of offense here. So I like this play. Good find, Mark. Double twos is going to hit, but running out of time to escape that priming structure. Raphaël is going to want a 3 quickly. But even if he starts to crash, he does have 4 checkers behind pretty good structure here. So not really in any immediate risk. But there's a path for Mark, you know, a way for him to get into this now. 5-4. I'm not sure it was worth playing to the deep points. Yeah. We can ace-6 from the bar is not really a big deal. So better to go for a long-term distribution there. 6 in and then 5 to... Okay, so there's some cracking numbers now. If he loses the 6 point, Mark will be in interesting shape here. I don't think it's enough to win quite yet or anything like that. But it's going to be threatening for sure if that happens. 3-1 is going to enter, so I think Mark would have preferred to stay out and just wait for Raphaël to crack, have an opportunity to enter with the 6. 4-4 is going to do that. Okay, a 5 or a 6 is a huge start for Mark. He's got a pretty good position here with a small liability in having had to semi-bury a checker to the 3. With the 8 away, 11 away match lead, it's going to be difficult for him to find a recube in this game. But I think we're in territory where it's like, I mean, we're starting to think about it a little bit for money. Still got some work to do here. But the favorite. So he's turned this game around. After being in big risk of losing a gammon. Okay, so Raphaël gets good news and bad news. Gets to step up with the 3, but has to leave a direct shot now. And huge swing on this roll. 4-1 is going to hit it. Wow, okay. So pretty dominating lead for Mark now to have 2 checkers back with a much better board. Not sure the ace matters too much here. I guess we could get off of double 4. Yeah, is probably what he's looking for with this play. Ooh, ace-3 is a huge response. Makes the anchor. Okay, has chances to escape with doubles and things like that, so that's definitely going to keep the cube off for now. But a lot of pressure on Raphael's position here. Maybe the 6 wants to come in to prepare to attack, but really we want to cover the outfield for when he runs, so I'm not sure this is the best way to do that, but a little bit confused with that. So he comes out and gets a direct shot there. Yeah, that was nice play there. Okay. And we're going to find out 5s, 3s, and 1s to take complete control of the game again. Oh, he gets to hit twice. Yeah, I think he's going to go for both of them here. And now threatening a gammon. I think when this works, he's going to be too good. So, oh, double aces. What does this do? It makes an anchor. The gammon threat is pretty low. This is an interesting one to think about a cube on. I think this one we could send it. I think the gammon is pretty unlikely, but so is losing. I mean, we do still need to cover the 4. And if we don't, we're in a bit of trouble. So maybe that brings Raphael's winning chances close to 20? And maybe he's the one threatening gammons? I don't know. But it looks pretty bad. There's probably more gammons than it would seem. Like, it could still be 10% or more or something like that here. So I think I like the recube here. I don't think we're... Oh, it's still too good. Wow. Dramatically underestimating this position with the weakness of the 3-point board. Okay. At the score, I would not be surprised to see Mark think I'd rather have the 2 points in hand and get a little bit closer than gambling for more. But you can also use score logic to decide to wait on this and just like fear making a mistake, sending a 4 cube when you're 8 away and it might come back on 8. You know, that can be pretty scary. At least he gets to use the whole value of those 8 points. But this could be a tricky one for... at the score for Raphaël to evaluate if he gets this cube too. So I wouldn't mind seeing it get sent. I think it's not a big error to commit to potentially end up with your opponent tanking. I don't think we want our opponent to escape with tempo when they roll a 6, so I think I'm cleaning up 7-3, even though it looks really impure. But wow, it's pretty close to just come off or play something bolder than that. Very interesting. More gammons in that somehow? Okay. I guess just when we don't get it. Oh, and Raphaël rolls the sixes to completely turn the game around. Wow, and now he's in a big lead, and Mark has nothing. This one's had some big swings in it for sure. And the ace-3 is going to crack the board too. Wow, what a devastating sequence for him. 5-2 is going to have to leave a direct shot, though. That's pretty wild. 4-1 was better for Mark there. That's an interesting find. I don't know how you don't just clear from the rear. Yeah, what's better? I guess he could... I'm not sure if there's a big difference, but I would think to get closer. Maybe it doesn't clean up as well. I don't know. Wow, there's a big difference on this, too, though. There's tactics and a lot of rolls to go through, apparently. 3-2 is going to whiff, but you can slap the ace. Unlucky to miss again there. 4-1 gets to make the 6 for a roll. I think that's better than leaving the indirects. Even though he just has to clear it next time, it feels nice to get the checkers in and maybe get to bear off next roll. But 7-3, 10-9 is a candidate for sure. Might be more flexible. Got to do some calculation there to figure that one out. 6-5, okay. Not a bad roll for Mark at all. If he can get around and salvage his board, he still has some winning chances here. Ooh, double sixes is going to solve a lot of those problems, though. And now, after being at risk of losing another 4 points almost, getting really deep behind in this match, Raphaël could potentially end up taking the match lead with a gammon here. That'll happen sometimes, not too often. Huge swings in this game. 3-1, Mark is going to spend some pips coming off and no risk of being pointed on other than double aces, so I think it seems like a reasonable time to go for it. And needs a... Okay, the 6 could slot the 6 point, but he's going to go from the back instead. Interesting. I want to be prepared in case I get my ace to hit or something like that. But I guess maybe we're not really that prepared yet. 4-1 is just going to come around. Sure, gets double threes to close, but would have to leave after that. I guess it wouldn't work. And so with the imperfect board, usually if he has the closeout, he can stay for the coup classique. Here, I think it's better to just save the backgammon. Because the aces aren't going to do that much work for you anyway. No, he's right to stay, though. Wow, I might have made a big mistake there. 2-1 is going to get the coup position, though. Okay, so this is good enough to play for. Needs an ace or a deuce with a 3-up, or double aces could work, too. Double twos can't cover it, but this is a start. He almost wants to be recirculated, I guess, to get that other checker. I don't know. It's pretty risky. It's a scary proposition, but maybe a 6 isn't all bad here. I think he's going to close and then maybe take an opportunity to bear off from the ace point first later. But like here, I think you have to leave it slotted. Can we afford to play in? We don't want to get double hit is the big problem. So maybe 9-5 with it's okay? Yeah. This is a difficult decision, though. It's scary to play these wide open, because if we get hit with that 6, we can definitely still lose a lot of gammons. And the occasional backgammon, as we can see too here. So it feels nice to just lift or something, but yeah, we just can't bury another checker. That's unfortunate. Okay. I almost would rather be hit with that 6 for wins. 6-2. So, oh, sorry. Our opponent fanned last time, so we'll make sure we get that right. And then Mark has a 6-2. And so, yeah, after lifting last time, I don't see him not lifting this time. So I think it's better to play to the high point, the 12-4. Yeah, I like that. And now the thing is, like any 6, a 6-4 is just like immediate loss. So yeah, it's unfortunate to not be recirculated on that one. Could have generated more wins, but it'll save gammons pretty consistently. So Mark gets out of a little bit extra there anyway, and we'll go down to 9-away, 8-away. Nice close match. Jeez, that one was close though. Okay, resigns. So we'll just give the 6-6 to close it out. They both seem to be noticing the swings in that one too, laughing, having a laugh back and forth a little bit after that. Pretty wild. Solid play from both so far too. 4-5 is going to split in general. Not really much score influence going on at this score, too. Aces, standard point on head and make the bar point with the checker on the 24. Small advantage for Raphaël to start. I don't know about small. Decent size advantage. 3-6, nothing much to do but run. Try to play the race now. And 5s. What can this do after our opening? I mean, we get to make the 8 and then the 3, I guess? Yeah. Yeah, what else is there? So just 13 to 3 twice, right? It's only the 4 fly shots. We get a ton of returns from the bar when it happens. What else could there be? I guess he wants to, once he realizes he's making the 3, he wants to think about the last 5, which is quite reasonable. But yeah, it doesn't seem to, we already have our opponent primed. No need to take him off the ace point there and risk being sent back. 4-5 is going to get to come around the bend for Mark and create a bunch of builders. And under a lot of pressure, still pretty playable. I don't think we have a cube, but Raphaël has a real clear positional advantage. So maybe it actually is enough to send it here. This looks pretty strong just on the threat of fly shots, making the 5 prime, anything like this. Yeah, big cube. Okay. And Mark just going to let this one go. Okay. This was playable for sure still. Like, there's work to do for red, having not touched the 24-point checkers. So there was threat, but still plenty of time. Too early to be letting it go there. But he didn't like it. 8 away, 8 away. We're going to move on to even score. I think there's like a lot of players have preference like that to just like, I don't want to give up so many points at once or risk it, like on a very volatile position. Just feel better letting those go. The double hit with the 5-6 is good for the opening. 4-6 enters 1. 8 away can be interesting with the recubes for sure. And this looks like it's going to transition to a blitz. We get to keep the 8 point while we make the 3 too. Okay, very nice, very nice. And Raphaël under a lot of pressure to enter here. 2-4 is going to make the anchor and solve all those problems. Mark with a racing lead needs to get his back checkers moving now. 5-2. I think if our opponent wants to come off the anchor, I don't mind so much, so we can leave it in front. But I mean, the 2 seems to want to split 24 to 22 anyway, so I think this is fine. Yeah, playing down a little bit better. And 3-1 for... It's going to make a nice board point for Raphaël. Beautiful. And the 2-1 is going to anchor up, but it's a little bit deep. Do we really want this anchor? I guess so, for lack of other options. We can think about coming up. But he's going to need to get rid of it so quickly, like especially after Raphaël makes the 9 point here, which I think is the better play when our opponent has the 22 versus making the 4 point or something like this. 4-5 is running for sure. We're out of time. We get to the midpoint. Nice and safe. 30 pip lead. So if he can escape that other one, he's going to have a pretty winning position. And Raphaël wants to think about the cube or just count the pips here. I think when he realizes he's down 30, he's going to realize he has nothing. But for sure threatening to point on head. Oh, he's going to send it. Interesting. It seems way early, but he is the favorite. Okay. And creates a pretty easy take for Mark. Maybe he's got some idea about the score here, about gammons being quite valuable at 8 away. But we could see some interesting recubes when this gets turned around too. Because if Mark sends that back with any chances of a gammon, those gammons are worth a ton. 8 away for sure. Ooh, 4-4 is a huge roll. This is going to hit and come around. I don't think he has any way to cover the 3. So it could be that making the 9 to interact with that is worth something. But my first thought is just to maybe come all the way around to the 6. I guess we can leave the 2 out there like this too. Maybe that's better. Yeah, okay. And Mark in a great spot holding the cube here. 3-1 is good return fire for Raphaël though. And I think just step up to the 21 to try to escape. That was important. A very important inboard hit. He was under a lot of pressure if he fanned or something like that. And a fan from Mark, ouch, holding the 2 cube. Now there's some gammon threat if he can pick up that second checker. 6-1 doesn't do a lot, but yeah, I can enter and continue and put a little more pressure on that blot in the outfield. I like that. Just get working forward. And Raphael's still down in the race, so if Mark can just enter, he's still got good chances of winning this game. Enters on the edge and hits. Still looking pretty good here. Okay. Raphaël needs to return fire from the bar. I think this is going to do it somehow. Probably we break the 9 to hit to keep like most points interacting. Yeah. That looks natural to me. 4-1 is going to hit again. Okay. Mark right back in it. No ace but 11 to 10. Everything else is destructive. Even though we give our opponent 6s from the bar, which we don't want to do. A6 is a fan though. Ooh, big advantage for Mark. He's going to sail right by it. He has a recube and a pass here, but he's going to miss the opportunity and roll on. That would have been nice and would have put Raphaël in the blender there. I think really difficult decision to figure out this cube action. But the 5's going to come out. Now he's probably going to be too good in a lot of iterations. And with 2 on the roof, I think we can play 13 to 10. Why not just maximize our checkers in the zone there? Oh, 10 to 7 actually works a little better to see the 3. Okay. They're all fine. Focuses more on the racing side of it, which I think is okay as well. And yeah, winning a gammon like 40% of the time. Okay. 1 in makes the gammons feel a little less likely, but I think we're still playing here. Yeah, we're right on the borderline. Wow. This is a difficult decision. Should be an easy pass for Raphaël if he gets it. And here it comes. We'll see if Raphaël realizes how many gammons there are. He's got to realize that he's got a lot of wins, and he might be enticed by this. But so it's easy to see all these dead checkers behind our peer structure and think I can play this out, but those 5 checkers back add up to so many gammons so quickly that if he can remember that part of this position, then he'll do fine and let this go. But sometimes we get focused on the wins in those holding games and forget that there are gammons sometimes. But he passes, okay. So the decision transposes. Should have been a double pass anyway that we passed up. Yeah, and we get a 2-point lead, 8 away, 6 away in favor of Mark. The exact adjustments of this score are a little tricky. It must be like a small change, probably like half a window or something. I don't know if this makes sense. But of course, recube's tough to get in for Mark if he ends up with a 2 cube. So lots of things like this. Okay, enters, hits, and then probably wants to make a board point, but also tempting to link up 2 checkers on the 18 or the 10. But when our opponent's on the roof, I don't know. Board point feels so good. Oh, I wasn't thinking of the 8 to 5 board point, though. I was thinking of unstacking to make the 3. All fine options, though. Trailing in the match, I guess, pushes us a little bit more towards an offensive play as well. I don't think that's the effects that we're seeing here. I think it's just the better play probably at all scores. But it might be a reason for him to find making the 5 or the 3 along with this. So he's hit. Yeah, this feels very understandable to me. Always a dilemma of like whether having the 8 and the 3 is better or having the 5 is better. When he gets a fan, and I think this is going to be a nice cube with a race lead, a checker up, threatening to make a 3-point board. Is he just going to pass it up? Maybe I wouldn't send this at normal scores, but I'm going to use this score to realize that I can be a little bit more aggressive and get in a nice one. And it's right on the cusp, so it's fine for him to pass up. And we can see that it's not too much adjustment, right? Maybe his adjusted wins are around 69%. We're usually looking for like 72, 73 to send in these early game kind of positions at a normal score. So we can get it in a little bit earlier, but not like a ton earlier, where this is like more like on the take pass borderline at 4-away, 2-away or something like this. So small adjustment available at this score. All right, double 3s is a huge improvement. This is likely to be a market loser. I think he gets to make the anchor as well with it. Maybe making the 10's pretty good, actually. Yeah, do we really need the anchor so bad? And the 10 interacts with the open 4 so well that I kind of like this 13 to 10. Oh, yeah, and he doesn't have to leave any shots on this side of the board with it either. So small opportunity to do something a little bit stronger and just focus on offense when our opponent has nothing. But yeah, making the back, like getting back checkers moving when you have 3 back makes a lot of sense too. Understandable. And 4-3 enters, makes the anchor, and takes away all the threat of this position. Great shot for Mark. No cubes available. And we're just playing a simple mutual holding game now. So 4 is going to step up, remake the 8, have a bridge home. That seemed very natural to me. Why 13 to 9 with it to tempt our opponent off and keep contact? Okay, okay. So we could still take a little more advantage of the board. And wow, Mark's going to escape with double 5s. He's going to be ahead 2 pips in the race, which technically puts him a little bit down. But I think you'll see quickly that he doesn't have room in the position for anything else, and that just getting to the 11 is a great shot here. And he'll keep the contact with the bar point between his bar, like his opponent's bar and his midpoint. And that'll be great. And he's like a small favorite in this game after this roll too, having gained full freedom with his checkers. His opponent with the racing lead with a lot of potential to run out of time as well. What a crazy sequence. This is just like 2 rolls for Mark, where he went from like maybe receiving a cube to like devastated and just clear pass. And then now just a small favorite. Taking his time to work this one out. Okay. Finally makes his decision there and plays out. Good move, Mark. And the 2-1 is going to play down into the 10. Okay. Yep, yep. Pretty normal holding game now. 4-3 can make it into the 6. Sure, why not? Really, he needs to work on the bar a little bit just to threaten his opponent from escaping. Okay. Raphaël going to take back over the racing lead with this. Good shot for him. But can't afford or can't escape from the 18, blocked by the 11. He'll take it, but yeah, I think his first instinct is right here. Making the 4 point seems really strong. Giving up the midpoint seems fine as well. But maybe he wants to keep the bridge for a roll to allow him to roll some certain 5s, 3-2, something like this to get a checker, that third spare from the 18 working. Yeah, interesting. That must be his idea. Doesn't seem like so crucial here, but it's reasonable. Interesting that the best play is like so doesn't even care about the board really, just spreading out for racing distribution. And so in the end, he goes for making it and keeping his landing point in the midpoint. 4-3. Are we going to just stack another on the 6? Now that we're down the race, yeah, we need a board to be ready in case our opponent leaves some shots. So he's going to put some focus on that. 3-1's going to cover. Okay. And yeah, Raphael's left himself a little bit stiff with his idea. So we'll see if he can get that checker from the 18, the third spare there, moving slightly down in the race. 5-6 is a huge shot for him. Coming around to the bar is a small racing advantage. Probably small favorite in this game now. 3-1. Mark can't volunteer against such a strong board. So yeah, I think he just has to try to make the deuce next. 6-5, 6-3 is a little better. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. 3-2 is just going to clear the 13. Got it. 6-2 can play into the 5. What does this play be that he's thinking about? Clearing the 8? I guess he can make 2 board points as an idea too. 8-2, 6-4, but I think these are just all overplays really. Yep. Oh wow, 8-6, 8-2 is actually pretty close. Okay. I would not have thought about that. 5-4. Raphaël looking for opportunities to leave. With 3 blots behind, you can definitely think about it, but it's a lot of shots that'll improve to a 3-point board, so I'd be afraid of it, but I wouldn't be surprised here. Yeah, okay. So 10-5, 11-7, fine. I don't know how bad it is to just volunteer there. There goes the 11. Nice shot for Mark to buy some flexibility and make a board point. 4-3 is hanging back now. Board's a little too scary. Oh no, he should... Wow. How do we find this opportunity? Looks like the board's gotten so much scarier. That's tricky. Okay. He's got enough... Not even that much racing lead to find either. Wow, I don't understand that one. That's very difficult. Mark is going to roll double 4s and take over the racing lead, though. And I think once he realizes he's 8 pips ahead, he'll be happy with this. I guess Raphael's decision transposes, basically. I mean, maybe it would have had better distribution, but he's not getting hit. Same position in the race. That seemed like a fine play. Ooh, Fours is going to take the race back over again. Okay. Oh, he should have made his board and kept a little extra contact. Okay, interesting for Mark. And then this is going to come into the 6. And we're going to find out who blinks first with the dice rolling. Big set will decide it. 2-pip lead is not going to be enough. We're getting close, though, if the distribution was worse. Yeah. Not too far off. There's a little bit of, like, not fearing a recube here, but, I mean, 2 points to get closer into 4 away is very nice for Mark, too. So, double-edged sword there in sending early. This should decide the game, unless Mark rolls something huge. 2-1 is not huge. So, here comes the cube and a pass, and we're going to move on to 7 away, 6 away. It's been a good battle. On to game 12. We're starting to work through more than 1 point in a lot of games here. I don't think we've seen a gammon yet, though, have we? Interesting. All singles, and occasionally on a 2 cube, but not that often. All right, 3-2, standard splitting play. Not much adjustment at 7 away, 6 away, of course. 2 is going to hit loose. Just on the recubes, we'll see some effect there, but not really on the initial cube. 4 is going to hit and probably continue, trying to consolidate a racing advantage in checkers back advantage. 5-5 gets to hit back. I think it's going to come all the way around there and hit, and maybe just 5th checker down. I think hitting in the outfield's better. I can't imagine using my last 2 spares on the 6 to make the ace point. So why not just come around and play 13-8 with it? I don't know. I don't see myself with a loose hit on the ace here either. But we do have 9 in the zone. I guess it's reasonable to think about. Yeah. It just, I don't know why we need to do something. I guess 13-8 feels anti-positional too, is the issue with it. But not really much of a solution to hit loose on the ace and spend that. Like, maybe with 5 on the 6, we'd be more inclined to do that. Oh, he's going to start over here. Yeah, the blitzing play just looks weak. Doesn't pick up enough in the race or anything. Oh, yeah, we don't really have 2 points or anything. Oh, we got John asking about the 2-hand rule. I see that all the time. I know a lot of people care a lot about that rule particularly. I mean, I am completely indifferent. So I'm not to notice too much. And it just seems easier sometimes. I don't know. I guess I understand the argument is that it can be harder to keep track of if we're using 2 hands or something like that, but I don't know. Let's play backgammon. Yeah, I think his play B is hitting loose on the ace, but maybe he's looking at pointing on the ace somehow. I'm not sure. 13-8, though, is the best of it, and he finds that. Well done. 2-4, I think close enough race to enter high and cover the 11. Sure, but we are under the gun against a couple mountainous stacks there. 6-1 can make the bar point and leave a direct 6. I guess that's what it has to do, huh? Wow, that's very close, yeah. Wasn't sure about that. It unstacks the 5. Okay, Mark hitting for sure and continuing to safety. Very nice roll for him. 6 away, 7 away, clear advantage in this game, but still work to do to cash it for sure. 6-2 is gonna, I mean, he's playing the simple game, so I think he's just gonna hop out and try to run, challenge a stripped midpoint. Everything about that looks nice. Raphaël gets to hit, but has to give up that midpoint now and has 3 checkers stranded from the rest of his army, so a hit from Mark here is very strong. 5-3 can't do it. I think he'd rather enter deep and not be pointed on and then play the 5 down. No extra blots too. I like that simple play. Ah, tempo hit's worth it there too. Okay. I didn't think about that, but of course. 6-2. We do not have to leave shots. We don't have to hit loose, but 1 point boards all around. Why not 9-3 and just 13-11, I think, with it, something like this. We're down in the race, so I think that's our game plan, is to keep finding contact and attacking. Very good and threatening distribution when we're missed, too. So maybe there's more value in the tempo now. The five's more destructive. The only problem is entering on the ace. But if we enter high, then we don't have an ace to play. So yeah, I think I like the tempo. We'll see if Mark can find this. If it wasn't on his radar for last roll, it can be harder to find. You know, I got to see, I had the benefit of noticing that that was an option last roll, and now it seems more clear. So easier to find when you're seeing the feedback from the machine, kind of like this. 6-4. I think it really wants to cover. Yeah. And then what is the 6 doing? Hopping out to the bar? Reasonable. I guess, and not slotting and things. Yeah, yeah. It's just not that much else. Nice productive roll, close race, all these things. All right. Mark's going to lose on time due to rolling. 3-2, I think is going to try to step up and see the light and just play 8-6. I think he's still, I mean, his simple game plan's getting weaker and weaker as Raphaël develops, but this is what he's got. 3 checkers back, just a 2-point board, still down in the race a little bit. I don't think the threats are enough to send it here. But Raphaël going to pause to think about this one. I think he's got some work to do. Ah, cool. We got another person in San Antonio. I'll be in San Antonio next week if you want to, if anyone's coming out there, say hi to me. Doing commentary live for the UBC event there and stuff like that. UBC, what do you call it? A satellite, basically. Yeah, it'll be nice to see everyone there. Welcome to the chat. Oh, Bill Riles wishes that rule wasn't disregarded too. Most of the rules, I don't know. I don't care until they're affecting things. I guess, you know, I don't know. They have to be there to not have disputes and things like that. Man, okay, Raphaël really taking his time with this position, trying to figure out how many rolls he's got and how bad it's going to be when he points on head. We've seen him send a cube like this before, so I won't be too surprised. Yeah. Yeah, here it comes. And should be an easy take for Mark. Okay, okay. And 4-3 is going to point on head. He's going to feel good about it on this sequence if he's not hit back on the bar. 2-1 is going to hit somewhere, though. A little bit for Mark. I think he can afford to get another bot in play here. Wants to take the tempo away, too. But it's definitely gotten scarier. And I don't think Raphaël will be too sad about sending the cube early in this particular sequence. Ooh, 5-3 is a beauty. Anchors up. Gives him great chances. Sitting on a cube. Playing a mutual holding game. Life is good. 2-1, I think, is going to leave checkers in front of the anchor to challenge him to come off. So what else are we going to do with this? Maybe just... Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what's like most constructive. Just cleaning up that 11? Yeah, I guess we don't get returns from the 11. I think that seems reasonable. I'm not sure what to do with this. Yeah, plenty of options. What we don't want to do is like worry too much about cleaning up the blots in front of the anchor. That's the main thing. There's a lot of ways to do that. Okay, so we can make the bar point, but we enter in our very rigid there, so it's not like super clear to me, but okay, yeah. We can think about even splitting just to try to escape and not deal with priming risks. 6-1, wow, beautiful shot for Mark. 4 prime in front of 3 checkers now, and wow, instead of stepping up to the edge, maybe the priming threat's bigger there and you should play 22-21. Finds the right play though. Okay. Mutual holding game with some priming value for Mark, so I think he's doing very well here. I don't think he is under so much pressure that he needs to slot here. So probably just 13-11 and 6-5 and deal with a couple fly shots that creates. But wow, okay. Slotting's a little bit better here. Very interesting. I guess it gives up a lot. Like, it's even bigger when he rolls a 6-2 or 6-4. Okay, the 6-4 is a big swing. Mark needs a 2 from the bar. He'll take a 5, though. Not too bad to enter and get moving again. Still has good chances with this prime in front of the 22. 6-1. I think we're just playing simple and waiting a little bit. I don't think he needs to run against all these checkers in the zone, so we can clean up the 12-6, play 3-2 or something like this. A little better to keep the checkers on the high points than to play 2 days typically. Oh, he should run out with it though. Wow. These plays are like really escaping me. Why does he need to come off here? It is the butterfly anchor, and the 22 tends to do this to us, and as soon as Mark makes any improvement, it's going to get harder. There's another checker coming to the outfield to contain and make it even more difficult to hop out. So I guess this must be why now is the time, but I would have an impossible time finding this right here. Very difficult plays. I think Michi knows these. He's written about them and lectured on them enough. But I find some of these like butterfly anchor decisions some of the most challenging in backgammon, to be certain. And Raphael's spidey senses seem to be tingling here. He's thinking about it. He's going to go for the stepping up variant. Very nice find. That's an impressive play. Let's see if Mark can pounce on that. Big opportunities on this now. 5-1. I think that's going to come out from the back and hit loose. I think he has to play into the contact now with a racing deficit. Get that outfield presence. Can definitely go his way. And his opponent's only got a 3-point board. He might get a shot at the blot on the 23. Feels worth it. Like, pretty clearly so. Oh, no, he's going to play behind and play quiet, though, instead. Okay, okay. So now Raphael's simplest game plan has gotten a lot easier, where he gets to hop out, make that 16-point. Sure, just switching 4-2 seems fine here. A couple fly shots. And Mark has to count on his 20-point anchor contact while Raphael comes home to do the work for him. Certainly going to risk less gammons that way. But misses out on quite a few wins by not going for it. All right, 6-5. I think this is just simple to the ace. Yeah. Mark's structure is ready. It's very scary to leave shots at this point. 6-5 can't get the safety from the 16 anyway, blocked by the 20. The 4 is going to come out for a little bit extra outfield contact, 2 blots and boards, so the indirects don't hurt anyway. 2-1's going to improve that slightly and switch 2 to ace, I think, as well. So Raphael's board getting ready for the contacts coming. Interesting. Oh, 4-1's a little better. Oh, yeah, no blots on board is an option. Okay. I would have found the better points his way, too. All right. Mark slots the next point. 5-4 is decision time. Do we give up the 8 or the 7, or do we volunteer the indirect with the blotting board? I guess it's not a bad time. Yeah, and with the big pip lead, even if he's hit, he can still turn this around and win that way. 5-5 does not get there and doesn't catch up in the race either. But I've made mistakes on these ones. Sometimes the 20-15 actually generates the best contact with that blot, and we want to keep the direct with that still. There'll be a number of rolls that don't make it by. So I think probably 20-15, 16-6 makes a lot of sense, but not sure. It could be that he wants to stay back and have the opportunity to give the 8 and 7 trouble clearing later. Oh, he can keep the blot on the 16. Okay. I would make that like a big mistake in releasing additional contact there. But yeah, I'd be missing out on the opportunity to cover the 3 and get ready for contact. So yeah, that's very important. That's 8.5% difference in wins. That's huge. I guess that's just like all the 7s that our opponent rolls. We get a monstrous opportunity to hit back in there. When he doesn't get by, we're so much more ready to hit the blot. Okay. These late game decisions are just like so all or nothing. Very difficult. So he starts there. Yeah. Okay. Look over the options. Cover. Oh, we could have a 6 prime. That's cool. Hard to keep it though. Man, this one's been bouncing all over the place now all of a sudden. Oh, he seems to be looking at... I think he's potentially going to find the best play here, too. He seems to have the idea that he wants to stay for the contact. I could see him potentially coming out... Oh, nice play, Mark. Very well found. That's a tough one for me. I could imagine making a big mistake on that one. Aces is going to play simple and fill in the 5 point, and now Mark's 20 to 15 play is rewarded. In the driver's seat to hit. Not a lot of gammons here. Down in the race. Oh, he wants to think about recubing this with a lead in the match. So he's going to have 17. 5-2 and 4-3 is going to be 21. So he's a favorite to hit. Whenever he does that, he should win. But when he misses, he's doing pretty poorly. And I think the recube is going to come back and claim the game a little too often. Maybe even immediately. So I'm not sure he can afford to send it here. But I do think he's turned into the favorite. I think there's just match dynamics that make it a little too risky. I'm not sure what would happen if this was like just for money or something like that. But the value of being able to just claim the game when missed is huge for red, instead of having to play it out and win the race too. So yeah, even though we have a lot of swing on the next sequence and the game definitely favors us, that doesn't always mean that sending the cube's going to work in our favor. Interesting decision. Well, thanks, James. Correctly rolls on, finds the 4-3 to hit. Is going to have some 2 good gammon threats now, too. What do we have? 4-6 doesn't enter. Yeah, I think you're taking a roll for sure here. It's not by a lot because the gammons we still have to close out, and our opponent doesn't have very much outside, so there's not a whole bunch of them at risk. But it's just basically like a free roll. Like your opponent can't roll anything to get back into the game anyway. Ace deuce is huge for saving gammons. Maybe actually this can allow Mark to slot on the edge and try to recirculate and pick up the blot on the 23 with a 6-1. I think I would go fishing. But we could close it out and try to win our couple percent of gammons that way too. Yeah, they're both super close. The ace needs to hit for sure. And now our plans are to play 15 to 9. Hope we get hit on the ace and recirculate and pick up more checkers while our opponent crashes. Or we just close out, win the game almost every time. And we do pick up some 7.4% of gammons with a couple checkers outside. 9 to 3 is the same idea, but it's a little bit deep in the board. Only problem with that, why 15 to 9 is preferred. Ace 6 is going to hit and cover. Okay, forced roll. And now he's just going to wait for Raphaël to crash and hopefully leave a blot while he does it. 5-4, no such luck. Oh, should he clear the 6 here? I mean, he has to leave a 6-2 from the bar if he does it. But so likely to leave a shot another way if he doesn't. Yeah. A lot of risk. Okay. Small opportunity there. 3-2 is going to clear. And let's see what Mark has. He's going to enter. And probably 4 around. And he's going to keep trying to hit and get recirculated and pick up a blot while his opponent crashes. And happily cash if it ever gets where a sequence could turn into a win for his opponent. 6-1, really desperate to roll a deuce and get that checker off the 3 would be a huge improvement to this position. 5-3 gets Raphaël ready to potentially leave a shot on the 21 point there. 6-4 is going to hit loose and try to get recirculated again, buy some time, okay. Ace 3 is the miracle for Mark. No such luck. And in a spot like this, maybe there's some sort of disaster roll. This could be claimable. This could be the time. Yeah, we're kind of on the brink. We do actually lose 6% of games somehow here. I don't know exactly what the anti-jokers are, but I can see our position is not that flexible. And like the chances of winning a gammon here are pretty remote too. So for me, I would like to see Mark claim this one, but he's technically too good by 0.004. So perfectly pick him position, pretty much whatever he wants to do. He's going to send it back though. Nice play. And gets a pass out of it and is going to move on to 4 away, 7 away. Okay. So Raphaël unfortunately punished for his early cube with an extra point loss there. And 7 away, 4 away. I don't remember the match equity. It must be, can't be as bad as 25%. Maybe like 30 or something like this. 70-30, a little better than 2 to 1 now. The score adjustments are interesting, of course, with a huge, like a decent match lead. The recubes are going to be quite scary for Mark, but winning a gammon on a 2 cube wins the match. So there's a lot of value there. So while Mark is a little more conservative with this lead, Not as much as we might think at some other scores. It's still in Gaminer's positions. He does want to get in a 2-cube and take advantage of that. Just needs to get a little deeper in the game and over that fear of recubes. 5-2 is going to, I think, cover the 11 and hop out 21 to 16. What else do we have? He can play 2 down as well. Okay. So the only problem with that is that it like runs out of timing, and yeah, it's just like the position's getting a little overrun here. This I think wants to fight for the edge of the structure and hit 6 to 4. And then the 6 I'm not so clear on, but 24 to 18 looks good now with all the stripped points out there. And with the match deficit, it doesn't seem too surprising to watch him go all in on the attack. You know, he's thinking, should I maybe focus on the closeout here? But I think it's just, you know, it's less about that. You don't really need the extra material in the zone at this moment. And getting the back checkers moving seems to be kind of a challenge for both sides in this position. 4-1 is a perfect response for Mark, though. Going to hit 2 checkers. And this is the kind of position where if Raphaël doesn't perform quickly, like where the cube could come here, with like pretty valuable gammons. I mean, this is going to be too early, I'm pretty sure still. Maybe we're thinking about it at money. Yeah, we're like probably on the cusp. So you can see the effect here that we're actually like waiting probably a little bit longer already at this score, but not by a ton. So we're probably like one small sequence away. Aces, I think we want to make the rack, but of course we could play 11 to 7 and make the leave no shots from the roof. Maybe that is better here. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wow, the blitzing play. I didn't even think about this. The double hit. He's got 11 in the zone, and he's taking a look at this, too. This is a very nice heads-up play. At 4 away, I guess it's, like, kind of worth it here. This is tricky to find. It's so hard to, like, the next best point on the board has to be either the 4 or the 7 here. And you can make either of them. So to pass that up for just loose hits and board is very difficult, but it puts 3 on the roof, prevents all the anchors, keeps the blitzing game plan open. Very nice find by Mark. Well done with the checkers there. 4-5 enters 1, and this must be a strong cube now, I think. A ton of gammon value. Yeah, we already get the pass, but we've seen Mark play relatively conservative with the cube too in this match so far. So not surprised to see him pass that up. We'll see, though, if he gets a fan here. I mean, I think he's got to be thinking too good now, right? Yeah, he's going to play on. Okay. And just assume that with the lead, he needs to not be thinking about the cube too much. Cool. I'll hit him up to check out my book so he knows how to cash that game now. Instead of winning 2 points. What am I talking about? He's doing great in this. Okay. So this is a pretty pivotal game now, likely to take it to 7-away, 2-away, unless Raphaël can perform some sort of miracle. But miracles happen almost every game in backgammon, so we'll see here. Long way to go. (5-4). Mark needs to start to worry about mobility of the back checkers. 21-16 seems called for. Yeah, I like that. 6-1 enters. Okay, so Raphaël really hoping to be able to anchor up there before Mark can blast away. Doesn't get a 6 or an 8 to do it, so the 3's in to create 5s, 2 steps up for mobility, and huge swing on an ace here. No such luck. Fans again. 6s and 5s are hitting loose for Mark, I'm pretty sure. I think he'd happily give up his prime to prevent the anchor at this point. And the 4 can come out to the bar. Sure. A little bit extra mobility. Ace at least buys the chance to make the anchor. No such luck again for Raphaël. And double aces can't cover. Interesting. Okay. I don't think we need to do anything like switch and create impurities in the board, but it's not so bad to play 2 days twice, I guess. Maybe that's reasonable. Or 2 days once even. Okay, he just makes the normal play. Gets a little closer to covering. 5-6 misses again. Double 2s is going to cover. Beautiful shot. Yeah, I think just keep going from the 18 there. Aces and deuces aren't going to crack. So make sure that all our big sets work and things like that. Don't get stuck back with an extra checker. 6-2 could bring 2 around the bend, but that'll leave a bad double 6s, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this will work. This makes double sixes work. It's going to play a lot of checkers to the ace, so we don't really love it if we roll that either. 2-1. So 2 down, and we can play 6 to 5 to get off the sixes again. Plus, we don't really want the spares high anyway. He's going to be thinking about a pretty safe bear off. As long as he doesn't leave a shot, he will be a huge favorite to win the gammon. But if he can start to take a couple checkers off against 3 up, there definitely are backgammons possible here. So depending on how well this goes, he might have to start to make aggressive plays for that. 5-4. I think we just clear from the rear. Yeah. We're not thinking about the backgammon yet, but it's getting close because of that. Another fan from Raphaël. So another safe-looking bear off here. So if Mark starts to get some fans in like 3-1, 3-2 kind of stuff, maybe he'll start thinking about the backgammon in a position like this. But it's looking more likely to be a two-point win. Double sixes is going to solve all the worries about backgammons and basically lock up the gammon. Is it possible to save it? I should look at the percentage there. Yeah. Less than 1% chance. 0.1% chance according to XG. But I mean, all these sets must be the way to do it. He's going to get 4 important crossovers there. A little bit of PR grinding too, keeping the checkers back to keep the backgammon decisions. I don't know if he submits to BMAP or not. I think I've got a good enough transcription for him going here too. Sometimes I screw up. Okay, he's going to play, yep, all the crossovers. Sure. Maybe some sort of diversification would be nice, but yeah. Should be fine since it's a virtual lock to lose a gammon and save the backgammon. Double aces? Oh, there we go. It's going to keep 2 crossovers with that, but then, of course, the other 2, nothing to do with, really. Could have kept the backgammon decision there. 3 what? 3-6. Okay. Man, the dice clear's been pretty okay here, but every now and then it catches me. Double 4s? Is this a chance to get off it? I don't know. Is it locked yet? Feels like it probably should be. Yeah, it definitely is. 5-5. Okay. 7 away, 2 away. Wow. And apparently Raphaël played that game perfectly. Spent a lot of time on the bar. It can go that way. Big match lead for Mark here. I think the 7-away, 2-away is similar equity to 5-away, 1-away, so under 20% for Raphaël. Probably around like 16 or 17, something like this. So yeah, big lead for Mark. Are they thinking about taking a break here? Or are they just, looks like they're just adjusting music or something like this? Super exciting match, though. All right, the 1-4. Gonna open with a split. Standard stuff at 2-away, of course. Very aggressive cubes coming now that Mark's at 2-away. In gammon-ish positions, but if it gets to a race, then Mark will be pretty happy to take something. 6-2 can make the bar points. It's always nice to just like have a free roll at maybe winning the match in a way. And only risking going to 5-away, 2-away, something like this. Sure, he runs to contain the outfield. Yeah, I don't see any better option than that. Okay, even though he's down in the race. 5-1 can play down and step up to the 22 maybe is the better split. Oh, he should come out to the bar and play. Okay, yeah, very close stuff. Double 1s is going to make a nice priming structure. And is this going to be enough advantage for Raphaël to get a Cuban after being hit? Probably not. But things are looking good for him structurally here for sure. And Mark's given up his outfield presence entirely. I guess a lot of gammon threat to the position. I don't see it. I think Raphael's got the advantage here, but not by enough with gammons to see the cube. Oh wow, the advantage is pretty good positionally though. This would be a pretty nice find. I guess I can make sense out of it. And I can also see that when Mark gets free reign to play his next role, like a lot of the ways he's going to win are going to feel like kind of gammonish positions anyway, too. So, yeah, I mean, maybe I could convince myself to send a cube that way. Like this 2-1 is just feels like so strong with so much material in the zone. All right, lots of pressure on this position for Raphael. Decides he needs to be at the edge of the priming structure, more important than the blitzing threat. Okay. Could even step up with it instead of creating an extra blot. 5-3 can make another point? Or does it need to try to run? I mean, Mark does not have the timing for this priming game, so maybe he should try to step up or something like this? Yeah. Very close, though, because it's nice to keep the blitzing attack option open. Raphael gets his anchor, gets to extend his prime out to the 10, and the 3... I don't have a strong preference with that. 13 to 10, 11 to 8 both seem fine. Maybe 13 to 10 feels like the most ways to make the 9 would be an excuse for it. But 11 to 8 seems like board points, like it's attacking the edge more often. So, okay. 2-6. This, I mean, we're just out of time against an anchor. We got to make a run for freedom here. 24 to 16, I think, is like the only play. Yeah, we have to pass if we don't go for it. And we'll see if Raphael can find a cube here, too. I mean, with 2 checkers behind, pretty good structure. Oh, no, and he's not going to... He's going to clean up instead and stay back. And we'll see if he understands that this has generated a passable position now, that the threat's just too big behind the priming structure. Instant cube from Raphael, too, though. So, pretty good spot for him. Oh, it's not a pass. It's actually... Okay. Borderline, take pass. So, pretty indifferent. He's going to try to play it. Totally fine decision there. 5-1 is... Ooh, does it have any sense to convert to an attack here and try to win a gammon? I think our priming plan is still the 1, but we don't want to let our opponent just roll a 6 to escape. That would be a huge improvement. So yeah, maybe the double hit. Wow, they're close. We're outboarded though, so it's playing into like the wrong game plan, and our opponent has the advanced structure in the attacking plan. So... kind of goes both ways there. It's a tricky one. All right, he gets hit back. Still one on the roof. And Mark in a pretty good position here now. 2-2 is a huge improvement. Steps up to the edge. And yeah, I guess 8 to 6 with it. Unless we want to save 6s and play something else strange. But I think we want to be at the edge. But we're still well primed and having to interact with that 10 point. So, I mean... it's a little tricky there. I don't think it helps to be back further, though. Like, you don't have any shots out on the 23. Yeah, I understand this 5-3, I think, is to keep some more playable 6s is the idea. But, of course, it also is not fun to have to bury behind. All right. Raphael entering is probably good for Mark's timing, actually. 5-3, though. Yeah, it's so destructive to not run. I think he's got to try. Can he really afford to tempo hit and play in like this? I would just go. Okay. He's going to try that. And now, even if he gets away with it, he's going to have a lot of pressure to roll 5s and escape this priming structure. Raphael going to hit and hop out immediately and preserve his timing to keep those checkers primed for sure. 4 is going to enter and ace is hitting. I mean, we have to take him off the edge here. 3-2 actually a close candidate. Very interesting. Okay. And if Raphael enters deep, Mark will have some chances. If he rolls the 4, then there's a ton of gammons likely to catch us up to 3-way, 2-way now, which is like a 60-40 match. Huge improvement. Okay. So Raphael looking likely to be right back in this at this point. Spreading out to try to make the 9 makes a lot of sense to me. However we want to do that from the back checkers. I like this. 3-2. I think we really don't want to hit on the ace. The checker's already where we want it. So maybe we just give up the 8 here and enter high and be able to see the light with our 6s. But wow, what is this tempo hit? I guess we really don't want to be 6 primed or attacked either. But it seems so strange to like help our opponent get to the edge. Nice fine Mark. I would struggle with that play quite a bit. 1-3 is going to hit and step up to the edge. Beautiful roll for Raphael. Double 2s. Ooh, what is this going to do? Maybe switch 6 to 4 and step up to the edge? No need to leave fly shots or anything like this? Yeah, there we go. That's a funky play. Well found, well spotted. Ace 4 is going to come in behind the priming structure. So Mark's still got some containment value of that, even missing the 6. Of course, would love to switch and reestablish the 6 again. Raphaël just cleaning up a blot. Maybe he wants to stay back further to contain better, and 11 to 7 would be better. Not sure. Oh, he should go for the tempo with 17 to 7 to 3. Yeah, it takes away the 6s from the bar. So there must be a lot of entering 6s that are going to break a point. So this is like pretty pure tactics here, in a way. Increases the gammons in a lot of different ways, but that's a difficult find. The 11 to 7 is better if we're not going to go for the hit. But yeah, we're usually not thinking about attacking that blot behind, but it sees the light in a way that has real relevance in this position. Interesting position. Oh, did it on plus decide that it was okay? No, it didn't run it. Okay. 4-1 is going to break the 8 points. Okay. 5-3 gets to just run by. It doesn't want to break the 8 point, but okay. He's going to step up to the edge and clean up that indirects. Again, the tempo hit. We're so much here. He's going to get one of these situations where he gets dinged multiple times for not understanding the same concept. Always annoying on the PR when that happens. 4-1. Starting a point seems great. Oh, he could start the 6 though instead. Maybe that's better. 7 to 2 is best. Okay, interesting. 7-6, 7-3 I really like. 5-4. What can this do? Has an opportunity to lose it again. I bet that's going to be the idea once more. And probably we're not going to see it once more. It's starting to get tempting to switch off the 8 at least, but I think he's going to continue to prefer the structure. And the containment back here on the 16 is nice too. If our opponent hops out, then we get a chance to send the checker back behind the structure again. So he's just rolling home with a different idea here. Makes a lot of sense though. They're relatively close. Cool, we got over 90 people watching now. Welcome everybody. Nice to have you here. We got backgammon all day today. I'm on 3 matches today because like the undefeated semifinals got postponed a little bit. So I'll be doing something in the second chance bracket after this match. And then we'll have the second chance finals late tonight. 3-1, yeah, looks nice to just make a board point. Mark's still trying to hold on, save gammons, things like this. There we go. 4s is finally going to be forced to make the 3 and take away those 6s out. And I think the rest of this is probably just simple, 16 to 8. Yeah, I mean, we could take the opportunity to clear the 10, but right now it's doing a good job of making 6s from the bar bad. So I think we want to keep it. 5-6, fans, okay, gammon's getting higher. 5-3. I think this is just going to clear now. We have such good distribution to point behind. Again, unfortunate to have to give up those 3s, but I mean, everything else is just playing behind and a little too destructive, so the time has passed. I think we got to give it up. Oh, we can think about making the 2 point. I didn't think about that. It does leave shots when we don't have to otherwise against a 4-point board, though. Probably creates a lot of rolls that play a little bit better, too, so hard to talk yourself into 4-3, 1-6, 1-3. And the follow-up could be awkward, too. We might have trouble clearing the 10 after we do this when our opponent just enters. So, yeah. Interesting heads-up play. It does win a few more gammons, trying to find a way to make his opponent fan a little bit more. But a bit of an overplay in this situation. Yeah. Four, 3. Okay, avoids that hit. 7-4. And Mark looking for some 6s and 5s quickly to come around and reestablish his board. Raphaël mostly just trying to clear quietly. I think a lot of the gammons are going to be saved here now. A lot harder to win one after entering quickly like this. Yeah, wow, still up around 25%. I'm surprised that they're as high as they are with only 50 pips down. This can either clear the 7 or just buy time by playing behind. Maybe playing off the 5 is fine here. Yeah, clearing the 7 a little bit better, though. Yeah, I hate giving up my last spare on the 6. That just looks awkward for whatever reason for long term. So I'd probably find something like 5-1, 2-1 instead, or 3-2. See if we can find this best one and just getting 2 checkers in and getting closer to bearing off. Yep, keeps the 7 in place to help him clear the 8 later. Understandable. Distribution looks good. Yeah, Mark would have been so happy to have an open 7 point to run with 3s there too. Instead has to bury checkers, so that works out very well in the rollout of 1 for Raphaël. Clears from the rear now. See what Mark comes up with here. A 4-2 is going to get a checker moving. Help on saving those gammons for sure. Still somewhat winnable, but it would be tough even if he got the shot. 3's no good for clearing, so Raphaël just going to have to make the board for now. 6-2 gets to run another checker from the back for Mark. 6-2 finally gets to clear safely. Next 6-2, no good. 3-1 looks like 2 crossovers. Where's he at on the gammon race now? Yeah, down into the low teens, okay. 5-4 can clear from the rear. I don't think we want to play aggressively for gammons anymore. Yeah, and that's a 0 position after we do it. No shots left next roll, so I think just clearing makes a lot of sense. But he's going to take checkers off instead. Okay, understandable. Wins a fraction more gammons. 2 gets to... Oh, maybe... It's awful tempting to, like, deploy those spares from the 4 point and hope for contact, you know? But he gets the crossover. Maximizes chances of saving the gammon with that, I think. 5-1, yeah, now it feels like time to take 2 off. The clear looks a little bit weaker, can leave some shots. 6-5, gonna run 1, maximize pips used to get around. Yeah. I like that. No real threat of being hit here, I don't think. Except for double 2s. 5-3 is gonna clear safely. It could start peeling again too. Yeah, so finally he does clear when it's actually getting worth it to like play for the gammon and not so scary. 5-2 is going to come in and only waste 1 pip in the gammon save. 5-4, 5-6, and 6-4 all going to leave a shot. Mark gets his chance at an ace to potentially turn this around and win it. Taller to... Oh, wow, the ace deuce. And he goes from having to worry about saving a gammon to maybe being able to win this game and the match in this game. This is huge. The closeout is going to put him at a significant favorite, good enough to cash the game for money. So a 2 urgently called for Raphaël to stay in this match. Some awkward rolls now if he can't close out. 6-1. So the 6 comes in. I don't think he needs to slot for the win or anything like this. We can just spread out for now. But eventually that might be an idea. And we can see he's a 2-1 favorite to just win the match on this game now. Huge swing in the luck here with a lot of money on the line. Big stuff happening here. 2 checkers off. Yeah, I think he's going to give up on closing out the 2. So... Raphaël going to have some nice contact there through the end. Unless some 4s switch or something like this. 6-5 going to take off and play safe for Mark. And looking good too. Even an entering 6, not so strong for Raphaël. I don't know what the odds are here, but I think Mark's still a pretty clear favorite. Let's see what he... Yeah, 71%. Wow. What a turnaround in this game. Devastating for Raphaël to go that way too. To be thinking about the gammon and then all of a sudden be... on the ropes for surviving this match. Ideal scenario with that, holding that 2 cube is just that you get a chance to roll it out. And even if you lose, it's not so bad. All the pressure's on your opponent. 5 in, 3 off. Okay, I can't tell. I don't think Raphaël is catching up enough here. Mark with many more checkers off and continuing to take 2 off a roll, not missing with those deuces at all. That's huge. Helping him a ton. 4-3 and Raphaël finds a miss. And that actually takes him off a roll too. So that was really important there. Bad shot for him. Gonna need some sets to stay alive here. And otherwise, Mark Ferrin is going to be your undefeated finalist playing in the finals tomorrow. All right. Just a couple more chances to hang on. I think he needs a set here. He can't do it, and that's going to decide it. Not enough time for him to catch up now. The 2-5. And wow, there you have it. Your undefeated finalist, Mark Ferrin, taking home a big prize. Super nice conclusion to that match there. Yeah, amazing stuff. Looks real excited to be moving on there. Raphaël is going to have to move to the second chance bracket and fight his way back. We'll look at all these outcomes and exactly what's happening with it. But man, what an exciting conclusion to that. That was, oh, you heard for him for sure. If we look at this, oh yeah. Hold on. We'll just do actually resolve the match, and we'll be able to review it. Then we'll look at this match progression here. And I mean, like, he was really climbing back into it to have good chances, and just like in that game alone went anywhere from 15% to win the match up to 30 until he like lost it there. Was a big favorite in the match for a little while too. But yeah, exciting one with a lot of swings, lots of peaks and valleys in the progression there. Super exciting stuff. What do we, yeah, so let's kind of look at we looked at the payouts there too. If we take the player room off there. So Mark securing that 1,600, and he will go on to the match where he will either win 6,000 or 13,000 pounds up top. So in a great position. And Raphaël, still for his efforts there, is going to take home the 670 and have his chances in the fighters bracket, where there's a lot of prizes available there too. So he's still in good position. But maybe one of the biggest prize money swings in the tournament available just in this match alone. So that's a huge one for Mark. Super excited for him to accomplish that. If we go look over at the brackets now, let me pull those up real quick. We got, yeah, so let's look at the fighters side. Can I see enough of it here? Let me see where the undefeated finalist, yeah, is going to come in this round here. We see advances all the way to here. So that's going to be Raphaël, and that's going to put him in the quarterfinals. So he's going to have to win next round, win a semifinals match, and then the undefeated finals, or the defeated, second chance finals to get a chance back. So if he can win 3 more matches, he can make his way back for a rematch against Mark tomorrow. But there's such a huge difference in having to play 3 more matches and grind that out on the other side of the bracket versus Mark, who gets to go to his hotel room or out to the beach, whatever he wants to do, and relax now and prepare for that match tomorrow. So really big stuff for him. Congratulations to Mark. Well played match by Raphaël as well. And we'll figure out what sort of quarterfinals, semifinals, fighters bracket, second chance bracket action we're going to have here coming up. But we've got another match from that happening before the second chance finals tonight that I'll be on commentary for as well. So I'm going to put this on a short break and close out, and we'll come back with the next stream once we decide what that's going to be. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.